Peat bogs are ideal locations for the preservation of organic matter. They have low temperature, low oxygen, and a highly acidic pH. All of these work together to stop the breakdown of flesh. They also make peat a useful fuel for burning, which is why people dig around in peat bogs. Here are 10 of the most amazing bog bodies ever discovered. 1. Tollund Man. Tollund Man was found with a rope around his neck. X-rays showed that his neck was not broken. He was hanged but died of strangulation rather than a quick drop. The body was in such good condition that the contents of its guts were able to be examined. Tollund Man's last meal was some type of porridge. He also suffered from a worm infection. Because of the way Tollund Man's body was arranged as well as its location, it is believed that he was a ritual sacrifice. This is a conclusion we will see repeated again and again with bog bodies. 2. Cashel Man. Cashel Man died around 4,000 years ago and is not so well preserved as Tollund Man. His death, however, seems to have been far more violent. He was discovered in 2011 in Ireland, and he may have been a king. 3. Old Croghan Man. Old Croghan Man can hardly be called a man at all. Really, he's little more than a head and torso, but he shows many signs of having been a man of importance when he died sometime between 362 and 175 BC. Old Croghan Man was tall, standing 198 centimeters. 6'6" thought he would stand out today, but in an age of poor nutrition, he must have towered over his contemporaries. 4. Lindo Man. Lindo Man was the first well-preserved bog body found in the United Kingdom to be studied scientifically. Discovered in 1984, he was sacrificed sometime between 2 BC and AD 119, possibly while the Romans were in control of the country. The Romans outlawed human sacrifice, so this was either one of the later bog burials before the invasion or was done illegally. 5. Aling Woman. Aling Woman died around 280 BC and was found just 80 meters, 262 feet, from where Tollund Man would later be discovered. Her presence and manner of death show that women could also be killed and placed in the bogs. Her remains indicate that she was hanged, but her clothes, stylish hair, and body placement make it unlikely that hers was a judicial murder. She shows all the hallmarks of ritual sacrifice. 6. Croghan Man. Croghan Man's face emerged from another peat bog in Denmark, well preserved but misshapen. This is partly because his throat had been cut from ear to ear. Several bones in his body were broken, but it's possible that this happened after death from the weight of the peat above. Croghan Man died around 55 BC. 7. Hurling Woman. Hurling Woman was one of the earliest bog bodies to be found. Found in 1835 in Denmark, it is also the earliest instance of a bog body being preserved. It can still be seen in a glass-covered sarcophagus in St. Nikolai Church in Vejle. Because the body was discovered in Gelmos, Gunhild's bog, it was thought that she was the Norwegian Queen Gunhild, who legend states was drowned in the bog. 8. Windby One. Windby was found wearing a cap and a wall blindfold over his eyes. When the body was found, it was thought that the head was half-shaven, suggesting a ritual sacrifice. Instead, it is likely that half the hair simply fell off due to uneven preservation in the bog. The blindfold may simply have been a hairband, used to keep the young man's hair from his eyes, that slipped down the face. 9. Boxton Man. Boxton Man wasn't found in the same condition as other bog bodies. He had been reduced to bones, except for his glorious locks of hair. He was also buried much later than the other bodies on this list, only around 700 years ago. Boxton Man was living long after the death of European paganism. This was no ritual sacrifice, even though he was found impaled to the bottom of a pool of water. The clothes found with the body show that Boxton Man was well off. 10. Croghan Man. Croghan Man's body was found before his head. His head was buried 3 meters, 10 feet, from his body and was staked down. The body was mutilated after death and was also staked to the ground. The amount of care given to holding him down has led to the suggestion that whoever buried Croghan Man wanted to prevent him from getting back up. The German folk belief in the Wiederganger, one who walks again, could be linked to the burial.